Good morning. Welcome to DCC Daily. This is our Monday through Friday 15-minute program of information and encouragement for the Dungeness Community Church family and anybody else that wants to watch. Today I've decided to make it Steve Jobs Day. If you know Apple products, you would know that Steve Jobs was known for always wearing a black t-shirt. It makes your wardrobe choices very simple. You know what you're going to wear every day. So today I'm mimicking Steve Jobs with my black t-shirt. Other than that, we start every day off with a photo of the day. And today our photo was sent by Ross Hamilton. And this is a picture Ross took several years ago up in the Olympics. Beautiful snow up there. Ross, you know, I always just so admire and appreciate your photography, and thank you for letting us see that pretty picture. Okay, how about some announcements? Sunday morning, if you're watching our services online, it'll be online at 10 o'clock in the morning. Again, continuing the series, The Gift of Barnabas, Encouragement as a Way of Life. If you watch it on cable TV, it will be on there at 12 noon on channel 21, Wave Cable 21. At some point, it's going to move to channel 120. We're waiting on some new equipment to be installed at Public Access TV. I don't think it's going to be this week yet, but at some point that change is going to happen. So don't miss out on church this Sunday. And then coming up next Friday, not tonight, but next Friday on May 29th, for families that have high school and junior high students, there will be a family scavenger hunt. And this is kind of fun. Families all do this individually, but then you go online and you share the results of what you've done. And Darren Sweeney's been working really hard on this. Sounds like a very fun activity. If you'd like to be part of it, go to dcchurch.org, click on the banner there for the scavenger hunt, and get yourself registered so that you can get the information. We are also doing a gift this year for all of our graduating high school seniors. We have 6 of them at DCC that are graduating, and we'd like to do something to help make this very strange year a little more special for them. A lot of special things that they were looking forward to, they're not going to get to do. But we'd like to do something extra nice for them. So what we're suggesting is that everybody pitch in at least $1 per senior. 6 kids, that'd be $6. Not too bad. And if you'd like to contribute to that, you can go online to our online giving portal. You can go to the switchboard at dcchurch.org, click there and you'll find a place where you can give online. Go ahead, give it to the general fund, and then send an email or give a phone call to the office and let us know that that amount you gave is for the seniors so we can be sure to route it correctly. Also, if you'd like to give cards, gift baskets, notes of encouragement, whatever, let the church office know, call us or email us, and we will tell you where those things can be dropped off for them. Okay, how about round tuits? Round tuits are those projects that you were putting off, hoping that someday the world would come to a screeching stop so you could get it done. And finally, lo and behold, it all came to a screeching stop. You have been busy, and we actually, though, have been so busy that as of the day I'm recording this, we're apparently all caught up because I'm out of round tuits. I have a hunch that there are more coming in or have come in the last day or so, but if not, let me know. Take a picture of what you've been up to. Send it in. Tell us about it. It's kind of fun to hear about the different projects. So we're going to move right on to a devotional thought. And this comes from Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6, a passage many of you know well. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths." I have come to call this the Mr. Magoo life verse. Remember Mr. Magoo? He was that cartoon character that was extremely nearsighted, probably blind, that had no idea that he didn't know where he was going, and blissfully went walking through life with one close call after another, no idea how he had been protected and provided for, just going through his day. And this verse always makes me think of that. It says that as we go in all of our ways, we acknowledge God. But the fact is, most of us don't really know where that way is taking us. My kids asked me recently, they found out something I was doing that was a surprise to me, and one of them said, "Dad, you should make a list sometime of all the things you've done that you never thought you would do." And I said, it would be a shorter list if I could make a list of the things that I thought I would do, because most of my life I've been surprised at where God has taken me. And yet the key, wherever we go, Solomon says, is that we keep trusting the Lord with all of our heart. We don't lean on our own understanding. That means we don't think we're a know-it-all. We remain teachable. Whatever we're doing, we keep looking to Him, looking for His guidance. And then it says that God's the one that goes before us. Whether we know where we're going or not, He is the one that goes ahead of us to make the path straight, to knock down the lumps, to bridge over the potholes, to guide us away from the dangers. So, I don't know about you. I certainly have no idea where this is going, but I know the one who does, and I trust Him. I want to keep looking to Him. I hope you do too. All right, it's Friday. We're going to wrap up a final interview this week. So, Jennifer, take it away.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Our DCC Daily guest today is Joe Vandaway, and he's going to talk with us a little bit about his role being a teacher during this time, both with students from the high school and with his own kids at home, and just share a little bit with us about that. But why don't you just share a little bit about your background first, a little history.
Okay, yeah, I'm originally from the Netherlands, and we moved over to the US when I was 10, and we lived in New Jersey for a few years, and then we moved out to the West Coast. So I've been in the US for a while now, and we used to live in Port Townsend, and then about 5 years ago we moved to Sequim, and I've been going to DCC since.
And you have a wife and many children. Tell us about them a little bit.
Yep, I have an amazing wife. We got married in 2008, and we have 4 boys.
Life is pretty busy at the Vandaway house.
Yeah, yes. It's pretty crazy right now. In fact, you might hear some background noises.
That's okay. Totally good. So, and tell us a little bit about your role at the high school, what that looks like.
So I've been at Sequim High School for 10 years and predominantly teach in the math department. I also teach some computer science classes now. And so I have 4 different courses that I teach at the high school, mostly to 10th and 11th and 12th graders.
Okay. And so did you originally go into teaching when you finished school, or how did that circle come about?
So originally in high school, I worked as an electrician, and I was an apprentice for a while, and then I got my electrical license. And then it was 2008 was when we had the Great Recession. And before that, we did predominantly new construction work. And so if you're an electrician in the construction world, you pretty much are guaranteed kind of a roof over your head, otherwise you can't run wires. So it's kind of, we call them the white collar construction worker. So it was pretty nice. But then we started doing remodel work. And I remember one day in particular, I was underneath in a crawl space doing some rewiring, and there were, the rat population was greater than I had hoped for, let's say. And I pulled what I thought was a piece of wood down until I noticed it had previously had some eyes. And at the moment, I kind of had a little epiphany and felt like, maybe it's time to leave construction behind and enter a different world. And as much as being in construction is great, I really like working with your hands and seeing something that's tangible. The rewards of teaching are far greater. Just being able to spend time with students, getting to invest in them, and having impacts on them that last a lifetime on a physical, like emotional level, and sometimes also on a spiritual level.
Because you're also involved in some of the clubs at the school as well, I believe, right?
Yes. Yes, I'm the FBLA advisor and the STEM club advisor at the school too.
Okay, so what, tell me a little bit about, obviously this all came on pretty quickly with okay, we're going into quarantine, and you guys basically had about a weekend to figure out what you were going to present to students on Monday, and then they were going into quarantine for, now it turns out, for the rest of the school year. So give me a little snippet of what that looked like for you when you knew that was the way things were going.
Yeah, certainly the transition has been tricky. At first, it was kind of like it hit us all of a sudden, and we realized we had a weekend to kind of get materials ready to hand out to students and get ready to go virtual. And originally, it was a 6-week plan, and then obviously it's been extended to the whole school year. So just like our students have had to adjust, we've had to also make some adjustments as teachers and figure out how can we best serve students' needs during this time.
So how have you been able to find ways to connect with your students now that you've had a little time to figure it out?
Well, some of the challenges have been just realizing how this situation has affected students in so many different ways. So we've had a number of students that I've been in contact with whose parents both got laid off, and they're working 40 to 60 hours a week so they can help their parents out. And then there's also students that I'm in contact with who don't really have anything to do all day, and they wake up late and they're not really sure what they're going to do. And so there's a lot of impacts that you have to consider. And a lot of that is emotional as well. Just a lot of students going through a difficult time. Anything out of the routine like this is always challenging for everybody. And teenagers are no exception. So keeping in mind that while we're trying to do learning in the best way that we can, many of our students are in different places. And so having to be very flexible and understanding and reaching out to them and making sure that they're emotionally okay before you really put too much on their plate and say, now learn all this difficult stuff on your own without help.
Right, exactly. And so you also, I know, even just the communication through, I call it on high at the school, and what you were given as far as instructions to what to do with your kids. I think that's been a little challenging for you as a teacher as well, as far as expectations.
Yes. Yeah, so we get a hold of students through email. Sometimes it is a phone call. Sometimes it is we have like a text messaging app that we can use with our students so they can like reach out to us directly with problems. In the world of mathematics, there's a lot of challenging problems that students are faced with that they're not sure how to proceed, and their parents can't always help either. So it's nice to have all this technology available though, where students can reach out pretty easily and we can stay connected.
Yeah. I'm going to throw this at you, and it's not one of the questions I've prepared you for, but in talking with some of about the emotional issues with the kids, are there places where they can reach out to talk with the counselors at this point, or how is that working as far as?
Yeah, we actually have, we keep a pretty good detailed list of making sure that we are having contacts with individual students, and the ones that we sense might need some extra support, we reach out to. We as teachers do this, and then sometimes we can direct counselors to do the same thing. We have like our principal and vice principals that are also doing the same. Mm-hmm. We're trying to do whatever we can to reach out and make sure that everybody's doing okay.
Great. Well, you are also in the unique perspective of also having your boys home with you and being a teacher for them as well. And so tell me a little bit about how that goes and what that looks like.
Yeah, well, it's very different to be, a certificated teacher in front of a classroom of 30 teenage students, and then also to be a teacher of your own child in your own house. So I can totally just want to give some shout outs to parents for doing what they can during this time. I cannot imagine, and it's just very difficult to have to be working and still have those responsibilities. Some of you full-time of just having to navigate how do you work during this time, and then also to wear that extra hat of teacher at home for the moment, which can be really difficult. So I experience that on a daily basis. Both Stacey and I are trying to do school with 3 of our kids while keeping the 4th one, who's a little too young for school, away from wanting to play with his brothers all the time. So it's real challenging, and just a reminder to parents that it is we are professional teachers, and so it is not a big deal if students have during this time some gaps when they come back to school in the fall or whenever things return to normal. You are the parent, and you are an expert in knowing what your child needs, and sometimes that means taking a little break from doing school for a while, and that's okay.
Yeah, I think that's a really good reminder, because especially when you have younger ones, you want to make sure you get caught up in, oh, are they keeping up? And you can lose sight of just that. Maybe like you were saying yesterday, taking your kids out for a bike ride, and they just need sometimes just you, and not necessarily to worry about the teaching part right now, because they'll get it when they go back. So I think that's a great reminder. But, well, Joe, thank you for sharing a little snippet with us today about life with Vanderways and through teaching, and thank you for all you do for our kids. I have a son at the high school, so I know how much the kids really love your classes, and just the amount of time and energy that you spend with them, and the devotion that you have for your teaching profession. It's we get the benefit of it, so thank you.
Well, thanks. Relationships with kids is just the key to success and learning, and so it's been really, really fun to kind of jump into this world of teaching and get to develop these relationships with these kids. And it's also one of the challenges right now is it's hard to develop those relationships when you're not with them in person.
Yeah, it's hard to do that over a Zoom thing all the time, but
yes.
Okay. Well, would you mind closing us in prayer for today?
Sure.
Thanks.
Father God, I just thank you for this day. I thank you for this opportunity. I just want to pray in particular for the high school students, and especially the seniors right now, that just having to go through some of the difficulties of knowing they're may not have a graduation and may not have senior ball. And I just pray for that you'll give them peace, that you'll give them direction as to what to do in the fall, and that you'll just let them know that that we're praying for them, that we're thinking of them, and that we can do whatever we can to help them during this difficult time. And I thank you for how much you love us and take care of us. Amen.
Great. Thank you so much, Joe, for being with us today.
Thanks.
Hey, thanks for joining us this week. I trust you have a wonderful weekend. Hopefully we'll see you on Sunday. And otherwise, we'll be back here again Monday morning with DCC Daily. God bless.